Welcome to HTML Exercise 2, Text Formatting and Links. You wouldn't get results at the gym by only watching others do their exercises, so be sure to follow along for the best results. This is the second exercise of a 4-part series on HTML. You are encouraged to complete the exercises in the order presented, as they often build upon one another. If you're not sure how to get started, watch the tutorial on setting up your web development environment. In exercise 1, we looked at the paragraph element. This is one way to format your text. The P tag is used to define a paragraph of text. You would place the content of the paragraph between the opening and closing P tags. When you use P tag, the browser will automatically insert a blank line before and after your paragraph, making it easier to read. Another way to format text is by using headings. The heading tags H1 through H6 are used to create headings of different sizes and levels of importance. The H1 tag is the most important heading, and the H6 tag is the least important. The H1 tag should pretty much always be used for the main heading of your page, such as the page's title, while the other tags can be used to create subheadings or to otherwise organize the content of your page into some sections. Perhaps the most powerful feature of HTML is that you can link to other HTML documents. And you can even link to other parts of the same HTML document. To create HTML links, use the A tag or the anchor tag, followed by href or hyperlink reference. This is followed by an equal sign and the URL, file name, or element ID you want to link to. Again, this may sound confusing, but with just a little practice, it will all make sense. All right, let's practice doing this in our environment. The first step will be to create a new REPL by clicking the Create REPL button. Then we're going to import our code from GitHub. So press the Import from GitHub, and where it says URL, go ahead and enter in the Michael Erskine /HTML-ex2 file path that I provided to you. Once you've entered this information, you'll be able to import from GitHub. And once you click this button, it will start configuring your environment, building your web server, and downloading the files that I've pre-made for you to help you get started and preview this exercise. So we'll let it finish loading. And once you have this environment set up, you can get rid of anything you don't need. For example, I might close this blank pane here, remove that, close that, and the README we don't need the shell. We can leave the web view and go ahead and click on index.html to open up our HTML document. And here we see the document formatted kind of like we're familiar with. We've got the doc type, the head, the body, and the body section is blank. And in here, we're going to put our first heading, heading 1, HTML, text formatting, and links. And once we have this, we can put our subheadings. I'm going to go ahead and do an H2, and let's remove this extraneous H3. But with the H2, we'll do text formatting as our second heading, our subheading, I should say. And then we'll have a subheading of links. We'll also do that as an H2. Now, below text formatting, we'll actually go ahead and just try some things out. And we talked about H1 through 6. So let's go ahead and do an H1. We'll enter the content. This is H1 and a closing H1 element. And again, you can format this to make it look pretty. So for H2, we'll do this is H2, and we'll do a closing H2 tag. We'll do an opening H3 tag. This is H3, and a closing H3 tag. And then we'll do an opening H4 tag. This is H4. And we'll do a closing H4 tag, followed by an opening H5 tag. This is H5. And then we'll do a H6 tag. This is an H6. All right, once we have that, again, you can clean it up if you need to. Those would be our headings 1 through 6. And before we go any further, we might want to preview that by pressing the Run button and starting up our server. And there we go. We've got our HTML text formatting and links. That is our H1, followed by text formatting as our H2 subheading. Then we have our H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see H6 is quite small, almost hard to read. And then below that we have our links subheading, also at an H2. So now we've done some formatting of headings, heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you may have noticed how I moved the index over from the web view. That way I can look at the code side by side. Next we'll go ahead and do a P tag. So just type the P element, type some text like this is a P tag, and your closing P tag. A lot of people hit run to preview it, but you can just hit the refresh button. And here you can see this is a P tag. Now, we talked earlier about paragraphs have the spacing both ahead and behind. Can't really tell yet, but we'll go ahead and add another paragraph right next to it, and you'll see that spacing. So this is a second paragraph or second P tag. And when we refresh that, you can see that there's this gap between the first and the second paragraphs, just like you would see in a textbook or any other book you're reading. So now we've got our headings 1 through 6, and we've got our paragraphs. You can see the headings also have spaces in between each section. And next thing we'll look at are some links. And remember, links use the A tag, and we're going to link to the MTSU homepage. So it's just an A, href equals, double quotes, and http://www.mtsu.edu, double quotes again, and then we close it. You can see I missed the double quotes. There we go, closing angle bracket, and then we've got MTSU, and then we do our closing A tag. Now when I refresh this, I should see the word MTSU there, and when I click it, it should go to MTSU's homepage. Now it won't actually go there in this preview mode, but one thing you can do is expand that by pressing the expand button. That's on the far right. There we go. Press that expand button and we can see our page. Now when you click the link in this new tab, it'll actually take you to that home page. So the next thing we're going to do is actually link to another page within our site. And we actually have another site called hello.html ready to go. So for this, we're going to do an A href equals, double quotes, hello.html, and we'll do our closing angle bracket. We need to give it some text to click on, like hello page, and then we do our closing A tag. Now when we refresh, you can click on hello page, and it'll actually take you to the hello page. And on the hello page, we have a path that says go back to index.html that you should be able to click on. So to edit this, we have to go to hello.html, find the P tag that has go back to index.html, and we're going to take an A tag, do an A href equals index.html in double quotes, close that A tag, give it something that we can click on, like home page, and then we do our closing A tag, and we have our closing P tag. I'm going to clean this up just a little bit to make it easier to read. Very good. So now when I refresh, I click on hello page. I can now click on home page, and it takes me right back to where we started. So now you've got some links. We did 3 links. We have a link that goes to the MTSU homepage, a link that goes to the hello page, which is another page on our site, and then we actually did a third link, which is going from the hello page back to our index page. Nice work. And that concludes HTML Exercise 2, Text Formatting and Links. Up next, we will look at adding images and iframes to your HTML documents.